TV. Good morning, beautiful people of Nigeria and beyond. It's a brand new day, a brand new week, and yes, a brand new month. Welcome to your favorite wake-up companion, the Psalm TV Morning Show. My name is Abraham Minor Judah, and this is where we serve you mornings sunny side up with a sprinkle of wheat and a full glass of inspiration. Now, before you reach for whatever it is you want to reach out for, maybe a cup of coffee, a cup of kunu, or even a glass of water, breathe. You survived last month, and that alone deserves a round of applause, or at least an extra slice of bread, or moi wakara, or whatever it is you use for your breakfast. Happy new month to everyone. And here's to fresh beginnings, to goals with new deadlines, and to dreams too stubborn to give up. Remember, the only thing standing between you and your best month yet is belief. And maybe for those of you that live in a very busy city, maybe a little traffic. Let me tell you this short inspirational story about a young girl somewhere around Jaligo who sold granules after school to help her family. One day, someone bought a handful, and the honesty of this young girl impressed him. The simple act led to a scholarship. Years later, she's now studying agriculture and determined to help our state feed the nation. Now, what is the lesson to learn from this? Your little today might be the root of someone else's harvest tomorrow. As former President Goodluck Jonathan once said, you cannot have development without peace, and you cannot have peace without security. Let us play our parts, from homes to communities, in building a safe Nigeria. Security starts with being vigilant, being kind, and be our brother's keeper. And that is our message to you this morning. And with me on this wonderful morning show to brighten up your day, to get you informed, keep you entertained, is the Director of News and Public Affairs on Psalm TV, Mr. Radane Kukwen. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abraham.
Happy new month to you.
Yeah, same to you. Happy new month to Nigerians. Congratulations for reaching this quarter of the year. We've made it. Glory to God. Glory to our resilience.
Yes, it's a new month, and it's a month of. May was a month where the first 2 years of most of our elected officials ended, and this month, the beginning a new month. What are your hopes for this remaining 2 years of this dispensation?
Yeah, averagely, many of them have recorded giant strides. They've been able to reach a new milestone as people who are in position of leadership. We look forward to them consolidating on the successes recorded. We look forward to them doing more. Those who are found wanting possibilities or the other, should see to it that the 2 remaining years should be a time for them to sit up and do the needful. There are so many things that needed to be done for Nigeria as a nation. So we look forward to them giving in their best. To whom much is given, much is
expected. And if you ask me, much is given to elected officials in Nigeria. As people usually speculate, they are the most taken care of in the whole world in terms of emoluments and the rest of it. So I will keep speaking to them, or to ensure that the dividends of democracy, the reason why Nigerians voted in should not be forgotten in everything they do. Well, we'll now move to the papers this morning. A lot of things happened over the weekend, and some may not just even be at the weekend. Let's look at the Daily Monitor. Let's start with the Daily Monitor. The Daily Monitor this morning has this headline: the judiciary workers in Supreme Court, judiciary workers in Supreme Court, NJC, Federal Housing, FAC pull out of planned JOSON strike. That is on page 12. The judiciary workers in Supreme Court, NJC, Federal High Court pull out of planned JOSON strike. The strike was meant to start today, and these are the judiciary workers in Supreme Court, the National Judiciary Council, and Federal High Court pull out of the planned strike. There were federal government enrolls 18,670 unmarried jury tutors into conventional school system. That story is on page 4 of the Daily Monitor. There are SEC tax African capital markets on financing gap for climate adaptation. The story is on page 4 of the Daily Monitor. Then Tinubu's reforms will ease cost of living soon. That is from Onanuga. The story is on page 5 of the Daily Monitor. Then you have another story at the bottom of the paper: Nigeria to leverage on 209 TCF of gas reserve for energy transition. That's according to the president. Say IOC is not existing Nigeria. That story is from, it's according to the president, it's on the Daily Monitor. Then you make your headline with Daily Monitor says, you failed Nigerians woefully. Afenifere tells Tinubu, accuses president's administration of engaging in massive propaganda, claiming false successes. That is from Afenifere. Let us look at the story. The Pan Yoruba social political organization Afenifere Sunday lamented that President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope has turned into a nightmare for Nigerians. Afenifere, in a statement by its leader and National Publicity Secretary Oba Oladipo Olaitan and Justice Faloye, said the midterm report of the Tinubu administration have shown that every human development and socio-political index has regressed. It also accused the administration of engaging in massive propaganda, claiming false successes. That is the position of Afenifere on the mid-term reports. They also went further to say the mid-term report shows that every human development and socio-political index have in the past 2 years, on account of his wrong policies, choices and wasteful spending, the Tinubu administration has engaged in massive propaganda. And they also went basically due to enforced errors, especially the oversight of the production elements of subsidy and floating the naira without any preparation to cushion the predictable impact. The Tinubu economic reforms have turned out to be Tinubu economic deforms. That is the position of Afenifere, the social political group from the Southwest.
Yes, we agree with them to some extent, and we disagree with them to some extent, considering the fact that he has recorded some successes in some aspect of the move of Nigeria to join the League of Developed Nations. Tinubu has done well, just like I've been saying for the past few days. He has done well by introducing the NEL Fund. He has done well by removing, what's it called? This subsidy. though we are yet to see the results, the full benefits of the subsidy removal, we are in the right direction. There are so many successes that the government of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has recorded. To say he has failed woefully is something that I disagree. He has some successes. He said this after he lost the presidential election in Lagos. He said, "You win some, you lose some." So I think it is too early for us to say he has failed woefully. Let's wait until the end of the tenure, then we'll ascertain whether he has failed woefully or not. By the way, there is no way a leadership will come and go without some of these critics. They are criticizing, they are doing what they are supposed to do as a social cultural group to see to it that good governance and the best life for Nigerians is attained. It's a good thing they are doing. We commend them for this, but I disagree with them on some points. That is just it.
Okay, thank you very much. I will commend the Afenifere on this, and I think they have some points to make on the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, let's go for a short break. When we come back, the review of the newspaper continue on Sun TV Morning Show.
Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations, Honorable Shonzin James Bernard, on behalf of the ministry, wish to inform the general public that from now onward and as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a clean and sustainable environment, the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations frowns at the way citizens of the state don't keep their immediate environment clean, dump waste indiscriminately across the state like in the gutters, thereby blocking drainages and waterways, causing flooding. It is on this regard that I wish to communicate some significant changes and regulations that will take effect immediately. 1. Keep your immediate surrounding clean. Take responsibility of waste generated by you. Package your waste properly to be taken to certified dump sites. Avoid dumping waste in gutters and waterways. Participate in community cleanup initiatives. 2. The ministry have reintroduced sanitary inspectors who, together with enforcement team, will be deployed to conduct regular inspections throughout the state. They will assess compliance levels and provide guidance to those who may need assistance with proper waste disposal practices. Please cooperate with them. 3. Activities of private waste managers in the state have been banned forthwith until an appropriate operational permit are obtained from the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations. 4. Illegal dumping of waste by any private waste managers shall henceforth attract a fine of 350,000 naira only and their utility truck confiscated. 5. Illegal dumping of waste by an individual shall henceforth attract a fine of 150,000 naira only. 6. Cleanliness starts from your home. Be a part of the solution and not part of the pollution. If you can't clean up your surroundings, then don't make it dirty. 1. Who maintains cleanliness keep away diseases. Follow cleanliness to kill tomorrow diseases. Together, we can create a cleaner, greener, and healthier Taraba. Announcer, Philibus Daniel Adamu, Permanent Secretary. The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations, Honorable Shonzin James Bernard, on behalf of the ministry, wish to inform the general public that from now onward and as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a clean and sustainable environment, the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations frowns at the way citizens of the state don't keep their immediate environment clean, dump waste indiscriminately across the state like in the gutters, thereby blocking drainages and waterways, causing flooding. It is on this regard that I wish to communicate some significant changes and regulations that will take effect immediately. 1. Keep your immediate surrounding clean. Take responsibility of waste generated by you. Package your waste properly to be taken to certified dump sites. Avoid dumping waste in gutters and waterways. Participate in community cleanup initiatives. 2. The ministry have reintroduced sanitary inspectors who, together with enforcement team, will be deployed to conduct regular inspections throughout the state. They will assess compliance levels and provide guidance to those who may need assistance with proper waste disposal practices. policies. Please cooperate with them. 3. Activities of private waste managers in the state have been banned forthwith until an appropriate operational permits are obtained from the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations. 4. Illegal dumping of waste by any private waste managers shall henceforth attract a fine of 350,000 naira only and their utility truck confiscated. 5. Illegal dumping of waste by an individual shall henceforth attract a fine of 150,000 naira only. 6. Cleanliness starts from your home. Be a part of the solution and not part of the pollution. If you can't clean up your surroundings, then don't make it dirty. 1. Who maintains cleanliness keep away diseases. Follow cleanliness to kill tomorrow diseases. Together, we can create a cleaner, greener, and healthier Taraba. Announcer, Philibus Daniel Adamu, Permanent Secretary. The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations, Honorable Shonzin James Bernard, on behalf of the Ministry, wish to inform the general public that from now onward and as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a clean and sustainable environment, the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations frowns at the way citizens of the state don't keep their immediate environment clean, dump waste indiscriminately across the state like in the gutters, thereby blocking drainages and waterways, causing flooding. It is on this regard that I wish to communicate some significant changes and regulations that will take effect immediately. 1. Keep your immediate surrounding clean. Take responsibility of waste generated by you. Package your waste properly to be taken to certified dump sites. Avoid dumping waste in gutters and waterways. Participate in community cleanup initiatives. 2. The ministry have reintroduced sanitary inspectors who, together with enforcement team, will be deployed to conduct regular inspections throughout the state. They will assess compliance levels and provide guidance to those who may need assistance with proper waste disposal practices. Please cooperate with them. 3. Activities of private waste managers in the state have been banned forthwith until an appropriate operational permits are obtained from the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations. 4. Illegal dumping of waste by any private waste managers shall henceforth attract a fine of 350,000 naira only and their utility truck confiscated. 5. Illegal dumping of waste by an individual shall henceforth attract a fine of 150,000 naira only. 6. Cleanliness starts from your home. Be a part of the solution and not part of the pollution. If you can't clean up your surroundings, then don't make it dirty. 1. Who maintains cleanliness keep away diseases. Follow cleanliness to kill tomorrow diseases. Together, we can create a...
Welcome back to the morning show on Some TV, and this is the newspaper review segment. Well, let us go to the paper straight away because I know you are waiting. Let's go to the Daily Trust. The Daily Trust this morning has just one major story, which auto crash, last moments of Kano 22. It's a sad story of crash over the weekend. While the crash which occurred around 12:30 p.m. Near the Chiromawa Bridge in Bebeji local government area along the Kano-Kaduna Expressway. From Sun TV here, we want to condole with the families of those who lost their life in the auto crash in Kano State. We condole with the government of Kano over the loss of 22 of his sports men contingent returning from the just concluded National Sports Festival in Abeokuta, Ogun State. So the story on the Daily Trust brought story about the team comprising athletes and officials, including coaches, assistant coaches, a journalist and medical personnel, as well as drivers and mechanics, were returning to their home state with 6 gold, 13 silver, and 10 bronze medals. The incident happened in Dakatsali town, about 50 kilometers from Kano, as the delegation was approaching the final stretch of their journey home. The victims include Abdurrahman Mohammed, the driver, the organizing secretary, Judo Association, another driver, Ibrahim Saliu, public relation officer, Kano State Sport Commission, food service unit, a team doctor, a photographer, mechanic, a doctor, a wrestling organizing secretary, and also kickboxing. Others include the kickboxers, the kickboxer coach, the organizing secretary, the assistant coach, and the assistant boxing coach, the boxing coach, and the staff member of the commission. The survivors who spoke to Daily Trust spoke about what happened before their vehicle veered off the road and tumbled down the bridge. Aminu Idris Abdullahi, the captain of the kickboxing team, said we were just starting when everything changed. It happened in an instant. A female athlete, Dorothy Okuzu Luike, remember gripping the seat tightly before everything went black. She said the only thing I could do was to hold the chair very well. I woke up in the hospital, she narrated. Another survivor, Katimu, he said she could not really explain what happened. She recounted, we suddenly found ourselves going down the bridge. I saw a woman about to be crushed by the vehicle, and I quickly pulled her back. I also pulled another person. At that point, I just lay down and started crying in pain. So the chairman of the Kano Sports Commission explained that the commission had to reduce the number at least as the game progressed. Only this last group remained. The earlier had mechanical issues in Lokoja and later Abuja. On Saturday morning, spoke with some of them. An hour later, received a tragic call. He said, that's a very sad one coming from Kano State.
Yes, today is a mourning day for Kano, as the governor has declared today public holiday to mourn those who went to serve the state at the National Sports Festival. We commiserate with them from this platform. Our prayers are with them, the family of the bereaved. We pray that Allah grant them Al-Jannah Firdausi. Most of them are Muslims. We pray with them that they will be comforted.
Amen.
It is a worthy thing to die for the nation. It is a good thing. Not that it is a good thing that they died, but they died at the point of service, which is something that is worthy of commendation.
Well, and the Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf yesterday declared today, Monday, as public holiday to sympathize with the victims' families. The state government also announced a donation of 1 million food items to each bereaved family. That is what the situation. It's a sad one, and I think investigations should be done into what led to this accident that led to the loss of 22 promising people, some athletes, some mechanics, drivers, coaches, members of the commission, a doctor, and what are we? They are humans who died serving the nation. May their soul rest in peace. So let's go to another paper here. We go to this day. I would like us to look at the story on this day. Okay, this day, on the top of this day, on the cover page of this day, on the top, we have Fitch upgrades Fidelity Bank's national rating to A+, and affirms long-term IDR at B. That is on this day. Then we have the story, Niger flood disaster. Turkey condones federal government as Buhari. Akpabio mourns 122 lives lost in deluge. I think mourns 22 lives lost in deluge Kano auto crash. Deluge, okay, Kano auto crash. And we have another story, Wabara to National Assembly. Our democracy under state capture rise up to challenge. That is from the chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees. Then the major story says U.S. links a surge in Nigeria's terror attack to exit from Niger, Chad. Say it is no longer able to monitor the activities in Africa, declares Sahel region global terrorism epicenter. State terror group may soon be able to strike inside U.S. alleged China only interested in access to Africa's resources. Let us look at the story there. The United States has blamed the rising attacks by terrorist groups in Nigeria and other African countries on its first exit from bases in some neighboring countries, including Nigeria and Chad, pointing to its inability to effectively monitor the activities of the violent organization. The commander of the U.S. African Command, AFRICOM, U.S. Marine Corps, General Michael Langley, who spoke at the weekend during a digital press briefing after the African Chiefs of Defense Conference in Kenya, described the recent attacks in Nigeria and other parts of the Sahel as deeply concerning. Nigeria has experienced a significant escalation in terrorist attacks in recent weeks, with incidents spanning multiple regions and involving various extremist groups in Borno State, Northeast Nigeria, Boko Haram and its faction, the Islamic State West Africa province, has intensified their assaults. And also in central Nigeria, Benue and Plateau State, violence attributed to armed raiders are also such. And recently we saw even such attacks in Taraba State.
Yeah, in Karim Lamido.
In Karim Lamido. Do you agree with the U.S. on this?
Well, we are not a security expert, but it is like the truth, considering the fact that these things are happening. When we were complaining about how these West African countries decide not to join forces one way or the other with Nigeria to fight the insurgency by backing out of ECOWAS and other regional organizations like that, we realized that most of us understand that this could portend a very bad omen for Nigeria as a nation, considering that it will make us porous to some of these attacks. We are seeing it happen. It calls for another reconsideration by those nations. It is not a good thing that you allow another fellow human being to be killed for some political reasons that are actually not making any sense. Yeah. There is a need for them to reconsider their position as a nation. Those leaders, whether they're military leaders or whatever it is they have been described with, human first. There is a need for them to understand that. And there is a need for Nigeria to consider how they can synergize with them, despite the fact that we're not agreeing on some terms, on some ways that things should go. If they refuse to be a member of ECOWAS, it does not stop us from synergizing with them to see to it that we curb these insecurities. Taraba is feeling it so hard. Benue had their own share, Plateau had their own share. Taraba too experienced it just like 2 weeks ago. It was so devastating. 40 people were buried. I think that's the first time we're having an issue of mass grief in Taraba State. It is not a good story. It is not a good thing. We pray that it doesn't reoccur again, but it goes beyond prayers.
It goes beyond prayers. There should be a lot of efforts from the security agencies, from the government. And, well, I agree with the U.S. to an extent, to the extent that, which I believe, if we countries in this affected by this does not come together to form a unified front against this insurgents, they will look at the loopholes and attack. So I don't agree with some of the things because U.S. itself is trying to ensure they have their control over resources in Africa. Yeah. Same with Russia and China. Yes. They are all here for what will benefit them. Nobody's here as a Santa Claus or Father Christmas, as we call it here. Yeah. But the thing is, we Africans need to understand that despite whatever decisions we want to take, we want to go with the East or go with the West, we should always remember that without we cooperating as nations to fight insurgency or fight corruption or fight hunger or fight disaster, there is no way we'll survive. So it would have been better if, despite what is happening in the Sahel, there is still cooperation, a central body. And I wonder what the African Union is doing concerning this. I think the African Union, they are created for situations like this. Today, so there is meant to be a coordinated frontal attack by all these nations involved. If we do that, I think we'll be able to overcome. And if you ask me, both the countries being led by democratic government and the ones that have military, none of them have been able to overcome this. With the same situation that we have in Nigeria with the democratic government in terms of insecurity, it's the same situation we have in Mali and Burkina Faso. Nothing has changed, as it has even gotten worse. And if you look at Nigeria, since Niger also pulled out of this thing, it has gotten worse. So you can see that it is not about the system of government, it's not about who you are aligned with, it is your resolve within to ensure that you work together to put an end to insecurity. That is what will work.
Working together is the main thing, just like you mentioned. Look at this part of the report. It said, but the U.S. top military officer said the absence of his country's intelligence and counterterrorism support, which had previously helped monitor and disrupt extremist networks across the Sahel, might have created security gaps that terrorist groups are now exploiting. The U.S. too cannot afford at this point in time to say they are backing out on issues that has to do with security, on issues that has to do with life and properties of human. There is no way they will back out at this point in time. It does not make any sense. We have to come together as a people in less regards of our geographical demarcations, whether from Niger, from Mali, from Burkina Faso, from US. If it's something that constitutes threats to humans' life, there is a way we should come together and put all hands on deck and see to it that these things have been snuffed out.
Thank you very much for that wonderful analysis there. Now we move to the Punch, newspaper. On the cover page of the Punch, we have terrorists eye Nigeria West African coastline. That is according to the U.S. I think that story is related to the story we just took on this day. They are in, there's a need for us to really come together, because it is going to be deadly if they can have access to the coastlines. Yeah. Then we have some other story. Nigeria petrol price 55% below West African average. That's according to Dangote. Well, I think I agree with him if you look at the cost of our petrol, but like Oliver Twist, we want more and more reduction. The defamation, Natasha, to appear in court Tuesday. This Tuesday, that's tomorrow. The defamation case will continue. In several banks, reserves with CBN surged to 18.8 trillion naira. So 7 banks reserved with CBN will surge to 18.8 trillion naira. Then NDLEA intercepts Saudi-bound pilgrims with drugs. That is on page 5. Yes, that's on page 5. Then withheld allocation also taps project funds to pay local government workers. That story is on page 9. I think it's high time this issue of Osun should be resolved, because when the elephants are fighting between the APC and the PDP, the local government workers are the one facing the brunt of this. At the end of the day, when it is resolved, whosoever is chairman will still receive the allocations. Meanwhile, people have suffered for years. People have suffered for months without being paid, and development is not coming at their way. And most of these states are dependent on their government, the economy is government driven. So the moment there's no money coming to the economy, everything just steps down like that.
That is true. Whenever there is crisis, it is the common man on the street that suffered the most. These big shots at the government house, for you to be a big party man in one way or the other, you must command a lot of resources. They don't feel the grunt of these challenges more than the common man on the streets. There is a need for them to put this into consideration and put an end to this crisis, so that the local government staff, the common man on the street in Osun State will be able to breathe freely without any suffocation and choking. Lives have been lost. This crisis has prolonged for too long. There is a need for it to be put to an end and move forward.
Thank you very much. Now, the major story on the Punch. They have a grim toll. States move to evacuate flood zones. Niger buries 153. State brace for heavy rain. Citizens plead for action. Mokwa survivors fear disease outbreak. That is quite sad. We also condole with the people, with the government of Niger State, the people and government of Niger State, over the loss of 153 people due to flood over the weekends. And definitely, the people are scared. Let me just take a look at the story from the Punch. It says findings by the Punch shows that several states have also commenced measures to arrest flooding, with Nasarawa, Anambra, Borno, Kebbi, and Bayelsa government planning to evacuate residents to prevent loss of lives and property. The federal government announced in April that no fewer than, I think we did that story, in April, 1,249 communities in 176 local governments across 30 states and the federal capital territory will witness every flooding between April and November 2025. This comes as residents of Mokwa local government area in Niger State on Sunday expressed fears of disease outbreaks as 2 more bodies were recovered beneath one of the bridges swept away by the devastating flood that hit the local government, bringing the death toll to 153. And with so much death toll and flood, there is likelihood of outbreak of disease. And this is where government needs to come up. And from we see the Mokwa flood has receded, but residents who are still searching for missing persons lamented the putrid stench of decaying corpse, which has sparked fear of a disease outbreak.
I want to look at this thing from 2 perspectives. One, from the fact that the issues of global warming has come to be with us now. We're experiencing it already. We only need to mitigate it by fighting against it for the benefit of the next generation. For us in this generation, we may not be able to benefit from the fight against the global warming as it stands now. Whatever trees that we plant now, whatever efforts that we put in is for sustainability, is for the next generation and not for us. It has come to be with us. We are going to be experiencing this from time to time. The other perspective is that you will notice that some of these communities that are been having this death toll and other things like that are communities that have not experienced this kind of scenario before. You understand that communities in Adamawa, Taraba, who have tested this before, are more careful, so that when the rains are coming, there's a way everybody will be on the alert and move away from the places where there are tendencies for the such to occur. So this is a call out. Don't take the Nigerians should not take this lightly. It is not just stories. When this flood comes, they kill people. Look at the death toll in Niger.
153 so far.
That is quite huge. That is quite a staggering proportion of deaths. So there is a need for everyone to be on the lookout. When the government said there is chances for your community to be flooded, there is a need for you to move away. There is a need for you to take all the necessary precautions. At times, people will say, where do you want us to go? This has been our ancestral home for years. You will only claim that place as an ancestral home if you're still alive. At the end of the day, if you die, it will become something else. So there is a need for people to be cautious. There is a need for them to, as they go to their farms, as they stay in their communities, if those places are flood-prone areas, there is a need for them to move up to other places, not necessarily as deserter, because some people describe it as instances where you be described as somebody that has left your community and gone somewhere else. At times they describe you as a coward or something like that.
No, but people leave their communities to go do business elsewhere.
So that's if I'm going to stay in my community and my life, the safety of my life and properties is not going to be assured, why will I continue to stay in a place where I don't have assurance of safety?
I don't see why people leave their community for different reasons. Let's look at the Director of Public Health in the Ministry of Secondary and Tertiary Health, Idris Ibrahim, said the ministry was working with SEMA and ready for any emergency. He said they were working with the Niger State Emergency Management Agency. That is what we are doing presently, and we're watching what they are doing. They're giving us information and there. And I think some of these places are prone to this disaster, especially flood. The state should begin to think beyond just evacuation and the rest of it. I think there's a need to start building maybe shelters, temporary shelters in places where there are, at least some part of the town, there are high grounds and the rest of it. And I think maybe there's a need for more push by government to ensure people leave these flood-prone areas. If it may need action to be taken by the security agencies to ensure people move, I think it is much better than what is happening now. So there's a need for everyone to be on deck to ensure that this does not, these things will come, but how to mitigate death and destruction is what we should be most concerned about.
That's quite true.
Yeah. So with that, let's move to another paper. Okay, we've gone to the Punch. Let's just take stories on some other papers that we've not been able to look at. Okay. Daily Independent. The Daily Independent say 3 years after poor infrastructure boosts deployment of 5G. This 5G story, I want to look at it. The issue of 5G came up during the COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
Can you remember some of those things that were said about?
Well, some men of God said it is. It has to do with Antichrist. So many stories like that.
So many stories, so many videos. Not only in Nigeria, even some people were there was this conspiracy theory that the reason why the whole world was locked down was simply because they wanted to plant 5G masts across
the world.
Across the world, and people made videos of how false videos of how if you go close to the mast, this will happen, that will happen, and you begin to wonder. And then you see people who came up and said it's sign of end time, they will never use it, the devil, a lot of stories. And I see those people using it now. Well, I wonder what's falsehood, fake news, distortion.
That is the way the world is. At times, some of these stories that are not true travel faster than stories that are true. Somebody sang a song that said, there's a way lie has collected the clothes of the truth and is wearing the clothing now, so that by the time it comes around town, people will look at lie and say it is the truth. It is the truth because it is wearing
the garb or the garment of the truth.
Of the truth.
Why the truth is naked, can't come out.
It can't come out. So some of those things are like that. But we live in technology-driven times. There is a need for people to begin to understand that some of these things are just technology. There's a way, Nigerians particularly has a way of making religious correlation to almost
But that issue was in urban Nigeria. Even in the US, in Europe, most of the stories that Nigeria flew with came from the US, came from the UK, came from people outside who were creating stories. We have evangelicals in the US and the rest of it. Even in across religion, there was what I call federal character in the belief. Well, now we are using 5G. I don't know. Maybe the evil people that brought it, they've repented of ending the world.
Maybe.
Right. Another story says Serap sues NNPCL over 500 billion missing oil revenue. Serap is always going to court, and I think they are always up there trying to do something, questioning decisions, and it's a good one.
Maybe there's a need for them to pursue one court case to the end so that we'll know that they've actually won this or they've actually lost this. They keep on going to court from here and there there hardly will a week pass without you seeing Serap going to court for one reason or the other. I don't know whether those cases that they file in have been attended to or they've just been there. They're always on the news. We've not seen how they've come out to say, okay, we want this and this is being pursued and this is being implemented. I think there is a need for them to start doing that so that Nigerians too will know.
We can follow so that we can even give support at some point and make it well. But the good thing is that whatever you do, there's Serap somewhere waiting
to monitor
and take you to court.
The awareness they are creating is actually good.
It's good. It's good. Very, very good. We have $300 helicopter levy on oil companies may hike petrol, diesel prices. Stakeholders question purpose of $300 per landing charge. This was a charge that was levied on oil companies, helicopters. So they are $300 for every time the helicopters land, and the stakeholders are saying it may lead to hike in petrol and diesel prices.
Well, let's see how it goes. I think they are capable of it, so they should just pay now.
They should just pay. We know the belief in Nigeria. Oil companies are very, very rich, and they are.
They're actually rich.
They are very, very rich.
So this trade is a chicken change to them, considering the kind of, what's it called? Profits they make. You understand?
Well, you are saying it's chicken change, but they are saying it's not chicken, it's turkey change.
Well, let's see.
Well, now story. MDLA boss syndicate sponsoring pilgrims with cocaine to Hajj. I wonder why people. Well, criminals are criminals. They always come up with ingenious ways to make money and to destroy other people.
That is just the way it is. If the bird has learned how to fly without perching, the hunter too should learn how to shoot without missing. The agencies like the NDLEA and other regulatory agencies to sit up to it, because every day people will look for a way of beating the authorities in committing this criminality and other things like that. So to whom much is given, much is expected. I'm fond of saying this slogan these days.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court, NJC, Federal High Court workers pull out of Johnson strike. The strike was supposed to start today. Judicial Staffs Union of Nigeria, but the Supreme Court workers, the NJC, Nigerian Judicial Council workers, and Federal High Court workers have pulled out. But I think other court workers, I think the government should listen to them, hear what they want to say. It wouldn't be good for me to want to take you to court this morning and there's nobody to attend to our case.
That is going to be a serious thing. Sarah too should understand that. So maybe Sarah too should come and plead on their behalf. There is a need for government to meet their demands, so long as they are according to the law. After all, they are judiciary staff, so they should know what is according to the law more than us. I believe they are pursuing a legitimate cause, and there is a need for government to meet their demands.
Yeah. So, well, 2 more bodies recover as death tolls rises to 153. That is the Niger flood. And growing external debt exposure threatens Nigerian fiscal stability. Now, story 9 fell dead in bomb explosion at Borno bus stop. The rate of increasing insecurity in Borno that is just is alarming.
That news was on some TV 9 p.m. news yesterday, and it was. It has returned in one way or the other. There is a need for the authorities to see that this thing is being curtailed. Else, another scary period is coming again. Some years back, Borno used to be a place where nobody wants to go. Bomb would just explode at the middle of the market, at the middle of the roads. This one happened at the bus stop. We've received reports of how military formations were being attacked some months back. Now it has come back to improvised explosive device being exploding right in the middle of crowded areas. There is a need for security agencies to be right on top of these situations and see to it that this is being forestalled and the lives of Nigerians have been protected. Okay,
let's take a final paper before we go on break. The Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune has some headlines on it. On the top right, from the top left of the cover page, our 60 airlines folded up in 3 decades. That is investigations. Nigeria loses 8.8 billion annual revenue to informal sector. That is from AFDB, African Development Bank. And Dangote Refinery can meet regions' petroleum needs, ECOWAS, according to ECOWAS president. That story is on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. Then the major airline, Nigerian Tribune, says manufacturers lament mounting challenges. Says 667 manufacturing companies shut down in 2023. Over 18,000 jobs lost in 2024. Cost of imported raw materials surged by 118%. Spending on alternative energy is 1.11 trillion in 2024. That story is on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also have federal government mandates employees compensation scheme for public workers. NSITF joins federal head of service to sensitize civil servants. The story is on page 3. And Kano accident, fatigue, excessive speeding caused death of 21 athletes. Federal Road Safety Corps. That's on page 2. There needs to be investigation into what led to these accidents. The NDLA bus syndicate sponsoring pilgrims with cocaine to Hajj. The story is on page 9. We have FAC allocation to state up by versus to 2% in 2 years. That is according to the presidency. The polling agency released results of political trends survey in Osun State.
Well, that's a new. I think this is new to some extent in Nigeria, and I think it is a development that we should encourage. Opinion poll. I think some sort of opinion poll. Yeah. This system is being introduced and is being sustained in Nigeria as a way of checking our political journey, where you will be able to know whether you are doing well or not. You will be able to know whether you're on the popular side or not.
My problem is if you don't get your demography well, this thing, you may end up doing a poll that will give you false hope.
Yes.
Because like the last general election, there are a lot of polls that were done, and from seeing the data used, I would just tell people this poll is not giving the real information. Because you can't run polls on social media and expect that you've gotten the demography. You'll be limited. There are a lot of factors that affect polling, and sometimes some deliberately create polls with the intention
of projecting
of arriving at a particular end.
Yeah,
so
that one too is there.
Yeah, if I want to do a poll to arrive at a particular end, so we need to ensure that these polls are credible, so that at the end of the day, you don't just go around doing poll to give you information that is not credible enough.
So at times you do this opinion poll to get what do you call it? To draw attention to a particular candidate.
Yeah,
there are just strategies.
Yeah, a lot of polls were done in the last election that you will know this is just to draw attention to a particular candidate or a particular political party. Well, I think that's what we can take this segment of the morning show. So we'll go for a short break. You can also relax yourself, stretch your feet. Maybe you've been planning to go do one or two things in the next room. You can go do it while I will be back in a few moments with another segment of the morning show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Taraba State, let's ascend to the future. Imagine a world where entertainment, transportation, finance and commerce are at your fingertips 247. Welcome to the future. Taraba Business School and Taraba News proudly present a revolutionary lineup of products and services designed to transform your life. Som TV, your premier 247 destination for local and international entertainment, news and educational content. Come to the broadcast of News Hour on Super Media Television.
Welcome to the broadcast of World News on Super Media Television.
Welcome to the broadcast of news across Nigeria on Super Media Television.
This is Sport Daily on Som TV.
Good morning, Nigeria. This is the morning show from Som TV.
Super Cap, safe, convenient and affordable 247 transportation services across Jalingo and Taraba State. Unlock seamless 247 financial transactions, easy loans, and rewarding savings with our innovative mobile banking solution. Taraba Online Markets. Buy and sell local and exotic products. Connect with suppliers and grow your businesses 247 with our vibrant e-commerce platform. TBS e-learning. Access a wall of knowledge with our comprehensive online courses and myriad of professional programs. SuperSoft. Unlock exclusive subscription-based services, discounts, and reward. Don't miss this groundbreaking products and services. Join us as we all celebrate in the future and experience the future today. Taraba Business School and Taraba News, empowering your future 247. Ascend to the future. Hey Taraba State,
Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators (IFOs), which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC. The financial...
Keep watching Sam TV.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Are you a businessman or woman? Do you need loan to grow your business? At Taraba Business Development Center, we offer both business and personal loan with flexible repayment plan. We are located in different parts of Taraba State. Jalingo branch, opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Amarua Way, 090-3134-4333. Zing branch, Zenith Bank agent beside College of Education, Zing, 070-3125-2559. Are you a businessman or woman? Do you need loan to grow your business? At Taraba Business Development Center, we offer both business and personal loan with flexible repayment plan. We are located in different parts of Taraba State. Jalingo branch, opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Amarua Way, 090-3134-4333. Zing branch, Zenith Bank agent beside College of Education, Zing, 070-3125-2559. Are you...
The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations, Honorable Shonzin James Bernard, on behalf of the Ministry, wish to inform the general public that from now onward and as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a clean and sustainable environment, the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations frowns at the way citizens of the state don't keep their immediate environment clean, dump waste indiscriminately across the state like in the gutters, thereby blocking drainages and waterways, causing flooding. It is on this regard that I wish to communicate some significant changes and regulations that will take effect immediately. 1. Keep your immediate surrounding clean. Take responsibility of waste generated by you. Package your waste properly to be taken to certified dump sites. Avoid dumping waste in gutters and waterways. Participate in community cleanup initiatives. 2. The ministry have reintroduced sanitary inspectors who, together with enforcement team, will be deployed to conduct regular inspections throughout the state. They will assess compliance levels and provide guidance to those who may need assistance with proper waste disposal practices. Please cooperate with them. 3. Activities of private waste managers in the state have been banned forthwith until an appropriate operational permit are obtained from the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations. 4. Illegal dumping of waste by any private waste managers shall henceforth attract a fine of 350,000 naira only and their utility truck confiscated. 5. Illegal dumping of waste by an individual shall henceforth attract a fine of 150,000 naira only. 6. Cleanliness starts from your home. Be a part of the solution and not part of the pollution. If you can't clean up your surroundings, then don't make it dirty. 1. Who maintains cleanliness keep away diseases. Follow cleanliness to kill tomorrow diseases. Together, we can create a cleaner, greener, and healthier Taraba. Announcer, Philibus Daniel Adamu, Permanent Secretary. The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations, Honorable Shonzin James Bernard, on behalf of the Ministry, wish to inform...
Welcome back to the morning show on Some TV. I am Abraham Manejoda, like you know, and with me, still with me is Mr. Radane Kukwen.
Good morning.
Yeah, once again, good morning. Now we're coming to the home front, the Taraba News segment.
Yeah.
This is where I feel more at home because charity begins at home.
Well, we're going to make the analysis of the trending stories as they appear on the cover pages of the Taraba News. And, that's it?
That's it. So, well, we're taking the stories from the cover page of Taraba News. Taraba News newspaper is the Taraba's most influential newspaper. You can ask anybody who knows Taraba, and they will tell you that, yes, if it's on Taraba News, then it is news. If it's not on Taraba News, it is not something else. Yeah. Okay, let us look at the cover page. We are Karen Lamido and other areas of crisis, peace and justice commission of inquiry. That stories on page 6 of the Taraba News. Official statement on the tragic violence in Karen Lamido local government area by UMCN. Stories on page 4. So we're going to take all the headlines there. We'll pick one of some of the major stories to we'll do some analysis of them. So Governor Abukefa set up investigative commission on the Karim crisis. That story is on page 7 of Taraba News. Then the major headlines say Indumyaji community, Southern local government, Taraba State hosts a transformative summit on self-discovery to champion youth of its to champion growth of its youths. That story is on page 2 of Taraba News. Then Dr. Abukefa marks 2 years in office with a Thanksgiving service in CRC and LCC's Puje Bukari. Yes, when we get to that story, I have fond memories of CRC and Puje in Bukari. I have fond memories of that particular church. Okay. The humanitarian support, Taraba State government's efforts in action ensures its commitment to displaced person. That story is on page 5. Then lawyer writes open letter to Governor Kefas, challenges religious representation in Karen Lamido Peace Commission. That story is on page 3 of the Taraba News. Well, let's take the major story first. Indumyaji community, Sadara local government area. Taraba State hosts a transformative summit on self-discovery to champion growth of its youth. I think you know more of Sadana than me. Maybe you should just go through the story and do some analysis.
Okay, the summit focused on empowering youth to discover their strengths and potentials in key areas, including education, economics, and politics, through interactive sessions and expert insight. Participants gain valuable knowledge and skills to enhance their personal and professional development. Comrade Philip Emmanuel, Chairman Summit Committee, welcomed the guests for gracing the occasion. And I think the story is all about youth, encouraging youth to rediscover themselves, and channeling their energy towards endeavors that are worthwhile. It is not gainsay that youth are the leaders of tomorrow. This is a very worthwhile move by the Indumyaji community and their leaders. When you target the youth and place them on the right pedestal, you're somehow assured that the future is going to be good and is going to end up well. This is a very good move. We encourage them to do more, and we encourage the youth who are not even from Indumyaji to key into this and see to it that they embark on endeavors that are worthwhile, that they pursue academics, educational pursuit, and all the other endeavors that are worthy of pursuing, in seeing to it that they better their society and better their lives, adding value to themselves, and a whole lot of things like that.
Yeah, I think you said it all. It's always good to have things like this to add value, especially to the youth. And Sadana is a very good place to have such a thing. So with that, let's move to page 8 of Taraba News. Let's go to page 8 of Taraba News, where Dr. Abukefa marked 2 years in office with a Thanksgiving service in CRC and LCC Puje Bukari. To mark his 2 years in office, the governor of Taraba State, Dr. Abukefa, held the Thanksgiving service to express gratitude to God for the journey he has undertaken thus far. The event took place at CRCN, CRC Nigeria, that is Christ Reformed Church in Nigeria, Kuje in Bukari, the governor's hometown. And the outfit display of appreciation, Governor Agbukefas, along with his family and senior government officials, returned to the altar to thank God for his guidance during the past 2 years of his administration. Well, I said something about fond memories of CRC. I think then it was CRCN before this dash. But now it means something, you know, before Christian Reformed Church of Nigeria.
Yeah.
That means it is of Nigeria. But I think now it's Christian Reformed Church. This is in the one in Nigeria, because it could go to Togo, to America, to
there's
this.
There's one in US, there's another one in Sierra Leone and other places.
So it is now, it is no longer restricted to Nigeria. So I remember then when we were in Federal Government College, Bukari, on Sundays, so we have a church, we have the Catholic service in the school, within the school, then we also have the Protestant service. Then there are those who want to attend CRCN, RCCN, and I think which other church? I think those are the two churches. As far as CRCN, there are a lot of, because we carry. So you follow the school bus on Sunday morning to town. And so they take you to the church, you worship there, and they bring you back. So I found out that, well, this is an opportunity to go to town. So what we do, we prepare for Sunday, and once it's Sunday, we follow the bus to CRCN. I don't think I went there for a few times, but do you know that I only stepped into the church auditorium once just to see what it looks like. I spent the whole time looking forward to buy fried yam, buy biscuit, buy this, buy that. It became an habit until we didn't have money to go to town to join. So I'm always fond of that church, because it gave me opportunity to just see Wukari, and I see what are the memories. I see people dressed up, and I look at some, I say, if this was my father, I would have approached him to give me this, to give me that. I say happy family. Well, I look at myself, a brother. I'm like a prisoner brought out.
But it's still service anyway. If you go to, buying biscuit is still service. At least you're serving God in eating biscuits.
Most time it is fried yam. You know, we carry hard yam. And we love the fried yam.
They still have fried yam.
Yam and akara. Yeah, that was a great delicacy, and then pounded yam we will carry there. Well, it would have, let me not deviate from the story, but I have fond memories of this church. Maybe I'll still go there to buy fried yam. Then, while the governor went there to thank God, I'm sure he also grew up as a young child around that church. So he will also reflect on the past when he used to come as a young child, not knowing that one day it will be the person that the whole community will be celebrating as governor of Taraba State.
Yeah, thanking God is what we are used to doing in this part of the world. We are always very religious people. It is a good thing for the governor to go back and appreciate God. And in one way or the other, appreciate his people too, because this is an appreciation to God, an appreciation to the people that made him who he is. At least at his tender age, when he was still frail and not strong enough to take care of himself, his parents, who are members of the community, his relations, his friends, the community helped in nurturing him to who he became today. Yeah,
and even spiritually, I believe that is where he started his spiritual journey within the walls of
I saw some videos, clips some months ago where he used to be a member of the Boys Brigade, and he was preaching. He preached as a young man like that.
In his sermon, the president of CRC, Reverend Dr. Ishaya Jirapi Magaji, based his message of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 12 to 18, titled, Thank God for everything and in every circumstance. The Thanksgiving service featured special prayers for the governor, musical performance, and goodwill messages from notable personality, including His Royal Highness Dr. Ishaku Adali, the Aku Uka, the current chairman of Taraba State, represented by Reverend Shah Yakubu Sojourn, former Benue State Governor Gabriel Suswan, former Minister of Labour, Senator Joel Kenya, and Chief DSK David Sabu Kente. Well, that is what we can take on that story. Well, still on the Governor Kefas, let's go to page 7. Page 7 has this story. Governor Agbu Kefas set up investigative commission on the Karim crisis. The governor of Taraba State, Dr. Agbu Kefas, has announced the constitution of the Karim Lamido Peace and Justice Commission to investigate the root causes of the recent crisis in Karim Lamido local government area of the state. The governor stated this at the ESCO chamber of T.Y. Danjuma House, Jalingo, during meeting with critical stakeholders and communities affected by the crisis in the Karim Lamido local government area. He called on partners such as UNICEF, civil society organizations, and religious bodies to support the state in peace, education, and community resilience. Well after the governor's address, the Speaker at Taraba State House of Assembly, Right Honorable John Kizito Bonzena, the Emir of Muri, Alhaji Abbas Njida Tafida, the State Commissioner of Police, the Kancham of Taraba State, Very Reverend Father Williams P. Awoshiri, Chairman of the Muslim Council, added their voices on the way forward to the true reconciliation and peace. How do you find this commission?
Yes, it is normal for government to set up commissions like this to mediate and discuss ways in profiling building peace in communities where crisis erupted. There's another part of this report that caught my attention where the government called on partners such as UNICEF, civil society organizations, and religious bodies to support the state in peace, education, and community resilience. This is the core. If people are well informed, if religious organizations and civil society organizations preach peace sufficiently enough and create the necessary awareness that people need to know, it goes a long way in building sustainable peace. Some of these communities may not solve the problem completely because they may proffer solutions that may not stand the test of time. But when the teaching on peace building is embedded in communities, there's a way people will understand the tenets of peaceful coexistence. There's a tenet of shifting grounds. When you understand that I'll need to shift ground, so we'll be able to live together, there is a way that is going to go a long way in building peace. When you insist that it is whatever it is that you want that must be implemented 100%, there's no way peace will come.
There's no way.
People have to understand this. The issue of how do you describe it? You claim this is, you have the right to this, and there is no way you will shift ground. That is where crisis starts from. So this aspect where the government is calling on civil organizations, religious organizations, and other worthwhile agencies to see to it that these tenets are being preached extensively so that you will know that I don't have to be in a place. You mentioned it how people that have money will come to invest.
Yes.
And that is how the place will be developed. Yeah. You must not say the person that is going to develop Karim must be from Karim. Then at the end of the day, you will not be able to develop. Whoever has money should come and invest, and let's learn to live together.
Definitely.
Or we will perish as fools.
Fools, definitely. We've done a very good one on that, and I don't think I have any more to say than let's learn to live together or we'll perish together as fools. Well, let's go to page 6. I don't know why I'm taking the story, the paper backward. I used to read, I love reading papers from the back to the front those days. After taking the front page, I go to the sports section, then I begin to take it. There are some articles, some this that I love them. So there you have Karim Lamido and other areas of crisis, Peace and Justice Commission Inquiry. This is written by Joseph Gimba, PhD, Chairman, Coalition of Civil Society Organization in Taraba State. He's expressing, they say he's speaking on behalf of 60 civil society organizations in Taraba State, over 60 member organizations and 11 school members. They compare to express profound disappointment and concern on behalf of over 60 civil society organizations in Taraba State regarding the recent announcement of a committee to address Karim Lamido crisis. Say to their utter dismay, the representation properly selected from our coalition is unknown to us and we are not consulted in the process. He said, as chairman of the coalition of civil society organization in Taraba State, I personally visited the government house to submit our representative name that is not from the Muri zone, deliberately chosen to ensure balance and fairness. Okay, this is a complaint from association, from someone that said he's a leader of the coalition of civil society organization Taraba State, and who is meant to represent the CSO that is not their member. That is what they're saying. I think, well,
it's fine. He's. I think the governor has the prerogative of choosing whosoever he wants. His complaint is right, considering the fact that he said the person is not a member of the organization and is not the person whose name they submitted to be appointed into. Maybe the governor, in his wisdom, on whosoever is responsible for this appointment, consider it that that person may function better than the person they submitted. Well, I don't have the details, but either way, he is right too on his part, and the people who made the appointment are right too on their own part.
Let us even look at, I think I have a list of the members of the commission here. It was announced on May 30, 2025 by Secretary of the State Government, Chief Barrister Gibbon Timothy Katap. It comprised the following members: Honorable Justice Silas Aruna as chairman, Bishop Foreman Edison as representative of CAN.
The Agda's Anglican bishop.
Yes. Yeah. Malam Ibrahim Gambo, the representative of the Muslim Council. And His Royal Highness Barrister Sophia Ahmadu Boshi, the Chief of TACOM. Then Mrs. Punariman Daniel Atenji, representative of National Council of Women's Society. Then Mr. Gara S. Nunga, representative of National Youth Council of Nigeria. Yeah. Then Mr. Sebastian Mokwap, DCP CID, okay, I think that's a police officer. Yeah. The Elder Ali Obadiah Umar, NDLEA. Okay. Yeah, Barrister Gloria Finchur Sonen, representative of civil society organizations. I think this is the contention of those. Then Barrister Nerius Johnson, secretary. So that is representative of the committee where Barrister Nerius Johnson will be the secretary.
Based on the complaint of Dr. Gimba, he's saying that he mentioned how the name they submitted is somebody that is not from North.
No, he said that their representative is not Barrister Gloria Finchu Sonet, who is the representative of civil society organizations. So to me, I think we need peace, and I think this is just however they want to resolve it, let it be resolved.
So long as it's going to bring peace.
There's another story which a lawyer, our very own friend Meanchi, Barrister Meanchi, he said there was no religious balance in the committee list. So, well, the governor can, while going on, can also...
Is it Barrister Meanchi?
Yes, I saw.
No, it's Issa Buba.
Okay, yeah. They are all our friends here. Barrister Issa Buba and Meanchi, they are both a friend of the house on some TV. They, whenever we reach out to them, they're always available to come and well, I think the governor will take, will listen to them, and then maybe actions will be taken to consider, or maybe reasons why these decisions were taken will be given by the government, and they may see reason to it. Well, I think that's it. We just I want to end on using the advice that we must learn to live in peace or we perish as fools. That is my message for today, and I will keep on sharing this message to everyone. I must learn to live in peace or will perish as fools. Well, we have come to the end of today's edition of the morning show. We want to thank everyone out there who has been with us watching from the beginning to now, and those that popped in, popped out, those that take a peep in and a peep out. I will thank you for being there for us anytime we're live here on air. You're the reason why we're here. And I also want to say special thank you to every member of the morning show crew. Mr. Dominic, the planner. The planner has done wonders on the...
That's by the way, I overheard him speaking to somebody from US this morning. I don't know whether he's planning to give us some dollars. I heard him mentioning how they're supposed to bring some dollars for him this morning before we go to...
Oh, that is great. So our planner, Dominion planner, Well, after the show, I will send you